Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. Boy, it's a hot one. It's hot and humid here in the Catskills, and I know there's a heat wave all across the country. So, um, I got to tell you something really kind of fun and exciting on YouTube. They've loaded up about 100 newer episodes of Donahue. I wouldn't say new; they're old from the late '80s and the early '90s. There are actually some even earlier, like even going back to the '70s. But I was a huge fan of Phil Donahue until he kind of turned it into the Jerry Springer show. He kind of did. But before that, he was very well respected. He was a scholar, you know. And then here was the thing, when Oprah came along, I think Oprah came along in like 85, 86, I believe. She used to do a local show in Chicago, and then she became national and broadcast everywhere. And Oprah was just blew up, and even got better ratings consistently than Donahue. But Donahue, to compete, had to have the ridiculous thing, like, a 40-year-old man dating his babysitter who's 13, like shit like that. But even those shows, he's so good and so intelligent and so questions. He's just simply the best. I love Phil Donahue. So there are a lot of videos, even say everything leads to Trump. He was on Donahue, I believe Phil said 3 times, and there was a couple of, I think 2 episodes of Stupid. This I think is 1992 on Phil Donahue, and I got to tell you, man, it's so hard to watch. I'll put it in the comments section the whole episode if you're interested. But what an arrogant, smug piece of shit! And now that we know that it's all a lie, that he's a fraudster, that all of his gains were ill-gotten through fraud, you know, it even makes it that more disgusting. So I've talked about how I came to know Donald Trump often in my videos. I think it was in the mid 80s, maybe early 80s. My father told me about him. I'm not going to repeat myself and go on and on. But I did a lot of research on my own, and I took it. I said, "All right, this guy is a rich guy. I don't like this guy. He's kind of an arrogant, smug piece of shit." But I just accepted it. I guess he's one of those business dudes. And then I did my research, and I found out the whole thing's fraud, the whole thing, and then the bankruptcy in Atlantic City. David K. Johnston, you got to check him out. He's been following Trump since I think the early '80s, but he knows everything, like even back to the '70s. This just a complete, as we know, he's a now we know convicted felon, civilly liable rapist, adjudicated fraudsters, a complete fraud. Now, when you watch this, he's definitely, it's hard to tell. Like I always say, he's a dummy, he's stupid, he's never read a book in his life, and all that. And that's true. You watch the earlier videos, he seems together. He seems like, okay, yeah, he seems like a business guy. It's not like incoherent, rambling, all that, you know. Uh, but very surface shallow. Everyone who knows him, whatever, when he loves table, those round, like those big kind of events where a lot of people cocktail. Oh, that's his juice. That's his crack. That's his heroin. People stand up and go like that, and they would always say, always not bad, like cocktail party. Hey, you stand up. Hey, blah, blah. you know. He wasn't bad, but not Shakespeare. You could tell that it's so surface and shallow. You could tell the guy's probably never read a book in his life, and it turns out he's never read a book in his life. So, if you could stomach it, I'll put the link in the comment section. And I do remember, this is a few years back. I think it was right after the election, 2017 or something, when Donahue was going on a lot of these shows. I haven't heard, by the way, I haven't heard from Donahue in a long time. I hope he's okay. But he was talking about his appearances, and he goes, "What a smug piece of shit." And he said, "Do you ever think he'd be president?" He's like, "Are you kidding me? That guy." All right. So I got to tell you, check out these Donahue shows. I am so impressed with him, how fun and entertaining. And then some of his earlier stuff, some really quality, like scholarly stuff. So I'm going to keep this nice and short because it's so hot, but check out Donahue, Phil Donahue. Okay, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know you want to, as Kyle Kalinske would say. It really helps with the algorithm. Peace, everyone.